ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there, this is CoreTV News on the Hour with Nifemi Oguntoye. The Ebola virus disease has spread from Lagos to Enugu with 21 people placed under quarantine. Information Minister Labaran Marco discussed this after the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja. He noted that people had contact with one of the nurses who contracted the virus from the Liberian-American Patrick Sawyer.
Health has taken on this matter was to immediately quarantine all those who had primary contact with the index case. And so far, as the Minister of Health reported today, all those who had primary contact have been quarantined, which is the way the global community handles this disease. And secondary contacts have also been traced. There is a strong team in Lagos, which has been set up by the Emergency Response Center, that is tracing every contact that has been made with either the index case or with primary contacts. Now, so far, the number of people that have been traced is 198. Now, out of this number, 177 are in Lagos, and they are being traced. Some are in quarantine, some are being monitored by health specialists. Their movements, being monitored, and they are under directive from the Minister of Health. So those in quarantine, and this number includes, people so far that have made contact with the index case or secondary contacts. So 198 of them, 177 in Lagos, and 21 persons in Enugu are also being watched. And this is because one of the nurses that was involved in the treatment of the index case, unfortunately, disobeyed medical instructions and somehow traveled to Enugu.
Meanwhile, the Osun State government has inaugurated 5 committees to educate the public on how to tackle the Ebola virus disease. Health Commissioner Temitope Lori says at the inauguration of the committees that the government would also deliberate on how to prevent the disease from entering the state. According to her, the 5 committees are on medical, information and environment, forestry, education and women advocacy. She stressed that each committee would sensitize the public to ensure quality and preventive control of the Ebola virus. Environment and Sanitation Commissioner Olubukola Oyawe and her land's physical planning urban development counterpart Muiwaige hailed the Rauf Aregbesola administration for its proactive measures against the dreaded virus, though it had not been reported in the state. The planned tour of River State Governor Chibuike Amechi to Rumeprikom community in Obiakpo local government area, home of Minister of State for Education Nyesom Wike, was aborted as supporters of the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party clashed. At the end of the fracas, which broke out at the Wimpy Junction, Equere Road section of the community, no fewer than 8 people were reported wounded. According to local sources, the youths had gathered at the Wimpy Junction playing drums in anticipation of Amechi's visit to the area when shots rang out of the popular traditional ruler's building. The sporadic shooting from the palace of the traditional ruler caused pandemonium, with the people around scampering for safety. The traditional ruler, who is sympathetic to the cause of a political party, shot 6 individuals, including his son. River State Commissioner of Police Tunde Ogunshaki confirmed the incident, assuring that the traditional ruler has been arrested and the situation brought under control. National Conference, of course, away from that story to issues coming now from the National Conference. The final documents is now being deliberated upon at the ongoing National Conference in Abuja. Conference Chairman Idris Kutige took the decision as soon as delegates resumed That was last week Wednesday. Although no reason was given, many delegates believe the controversy over alleged hidden agenda forced the postponement.
The national conference is gradually winding down after 4 months of deliberations. And now that the final report is up for consideration, the little cracks noticed during proceedings have widened. Delegates from northern Nigeria are kicking against what they describe as attempts to smuggle in what were not discussed. Sani Zoro is a delegate from the north. He is convinced that there is a hidden agenda that should not be tolerated.
My own impression is that some fifth columnists have infiltrated the conference, and that is why they brought this document, because they are so desperate on tenure elongation. And what these politicians, desperate on tenure elongation and third term, want to do is to take advantage of that same judgment or ruling of the Court of Appeal to say, okay, President Jonathan, who would have spent 6 years next year in office and is probably bad, even though there is no determination by the court of law, but because there are people who hold the view that he has finished these 2 terms, having completed that of Er'adua and the one that was a fresh mandate by him, and therefore he cannot contest. So he can now come and say, oh, I am contesting on the platform of 2014.
But this southern counterpart say there is nothing like that.
There were specific allegations that we had recommended a single tenure of 6 years for the president. That is not true. Look at the document. We say 2 terms for 4 years each, as in the present constitution.
We have no one had asked us to seek a third or a third term for anybody. Like has been said, anyone that suggests this will be insulting us. Our report, with all the recommendations, should be placed in the public domain so Nigerians will understand what we've done, and they would then decide whether we've wasted their money and their time or we've given them an opportunity to build a new Nigeria.
That's fair. Where there should be a subtraction, they subtracted. And the documents, a new document had now been produced. And there is nothing wrong. If somebody calls it a proposed draft constitution, we have nothing to hide. But that will bring a new change to Nigeria.
At least one delegate from the Middle Belt is with the South on this matter. He is convinced that delegates opposed to the final document have not studied it properly.
Even those who have expressed misgivings are not controverting the accuracy of the report by the Secretariat. Their concern is that they were not mentally prepared for the idea of a new constitution. And that reality was a bit shocking to some people, but that is actually the logical outcome of all our resolutions and decisions.
For now, the delegates are digging in preparation for what many fear may be a showdown. Conference chairman adjourned sitting to calm frayed nerves, but it remains to be seen if 24 hours are enough for the 2 contending groups to agree on the way out.
You're watching CoreTV News live from Lagos. Update on the rocket crisis is next after this break.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
All new on Bodyworks.
Welcome to Bodyworks, the fitness, wellness, and lifestyle show.
It's often difficult to believe.
Infertility is a condition that can actually be cured.
When you say cured, I actually find that very difficult to believe. I'm sorry.
Being an autistic child doesn't necessarily reduce your lifespan.
Let's
kind of start with gonorrhea.
They call it gono.
Gono.
There's something we call plaque and calculus. Plaque is a soft teleneous material that adheres to the surface of the teeth.
And it could be life-threatening.
Most children who have enuresis, as a bedwetting, about 8 out of 10, I can tell you, will have the disease. It's called juvenile diabetes.
There are a lot of diet pills out there, and
There's no weight loss pill in a bottle. Point blank.
Are you saying that it's okay to bleach?
Depends on how you do it.
And then,
When the fibroid does not disturb the woman, we don't disturb the fibroid.
well, that's been our show.
showing every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Bodyworks. Live right, be fit, and live well.
Der Torschütze zum zwischenzeitlichen 1:1. Emenike schickt Musa, da ist Ahmed Musa! Und das ist der Ausgleich!
It's a beautiful Saturday evening in the city of Lagos.
Off the turn, Phelps had it, but then Matsui kept going.
Finals. 5 to shoot. Leonard does.
Sports is concerned, and of course, making a difference for all of us here from all our production. Thanks for watching my channel.
Welcome back. Britain made the second airdrop of aid to refugees in northern Iraq. Also, tornado fighter jets had left Britain to provide surveillance support for the humanitarian effort. The Royal Air Force was forced to abandon a drop on Monday because of fears of injuring people on the ground, but a repeat attempt overnight was successful. The Department for International Development said 8 drops have now been made, delivering 4,380 water containers and 1,056 solar lamps that can be used to charge mobile phones. Britain is also sending tornado jets to gather information to help deliver aid to civilians fleeing from militants. And that wraps it this hour on CoreTV News. I'll be back at the top of the hour with more stories. I'm Nifemi Oguntoye. Thanks for being there.